Alright, what's going on, guys? So today I'm going to be showing you how to do the second main Outbreak Easter egg called Operation Excision. So this can be done either co-op or solo, as all of them in Cold War can be. Now this one is a little bit less challenging than I would say the first Outbreak Easter egg, but can be pretty difficult in some parts in its own right. And today I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do it every single step, all the locations for things you need to know, and should help you get this done the first time through. A couple prerequisites: you can run anything you want in this Easter egg. It's not quite as strict as I recommended for the first Easter egg, but I am running the Farah in this gameplay, and if you want to know exactly what I'm running and copy it along, I'll show it on screen. Also, while it isn't required, I am going to strongly advise having tier 5 stamina or fully upgraded stamina, because fall damage mitigation is a pretty important part of this quest. If you don't have it, no worries, you can still do without, but it's going to be a little bit more tricky. But that's essentially all you need to know before going in. But I'm going to show you guys how to do every single step, how to complete the boss fight and get the cutscene, which is the best cutscene in Cold War. If this video helps out at all, then make sure to drop a thumbs up. We're going to go for 3,000 likes on this one, and if you're new to the channel, of course, remember to subscribe for more Easter egg guides and just zombies videos in general. If you haven't done any of the other Easter eggs in Cold War, I'm gonna have a link in the description with a playlist to every single map that you can watch and get done. So after this video, any other Easter egg you need to complete can be found down below. But with that being said, guys, let's get into it. So to begin things here, you're gonna start out this Easter egg almost identically to how you would the first Outbreak quest. And if you've never done that, basically you need to play your first couple of rounds just setting up, right? You want to take advantage of all the side quests so you can have the optimal amount of points. You want to get your gun as upgraded as possible, and you want to obtain perks, generally speaking, via the free methods like killing the boss enemies and such. But you're gonna go and do your objectives until you get to round 3 as usual. A few recommendations: if you're playing this solo, I'm gonna recommend using all of your resources to upgrade one primary weapon. You don't even really need 2 different guns for this Easter egg, and if you're running the one that I am, then it shouldn't be a problem. So consider getting Juggernaut's Stamina Up as your first perks, and then after that getting Quick Revive if possible. These are gonna be just basically your, your baseline ones. If you happen to go down, you'll keep those as well. But just go through your objectives, do all the things, and then when you get to round 3, this is where the Easter egg diverges from the first one, and we need to employ a couple of different steps. By this point, I am going to strongly advise that you have stamina up for this. Next, once you make it to round 3, you're now going to be looking for a red rift portal. They are very different from the ones that are located on the perimeters of the map that are more of a purple color. I'm going to show you exactly where each and every single one is, and I'll show you what they look like so you have confirmation. Depending on what map you're on, you'll find them in a different spot, obviously. So on Duga, it's going to be located in the northern part of the map where the crafting table is on the upstairs area. In Ruka, it's going to be in the old farm area of the map. It's very easy to see. On Zoo, it's going to be inside the wolf exhibit. On Alpine, it's going to be on Dead Man's Cliff. And then on Golova, it's going to be on top of the church, as you can see right now. Once you locate your portal on the map, it's also pretty easy to tell where they are based on sound as well. They do emanate a kind of noise. But once you locate your portal on whatever map you're playing, then you need to jump into it. And then as soon as you do this, you don't want to, let yourself hit the ground. You're going to spawn in the air, and generally you want to pull your parachute almost as quickly as possible just so you have enough hang time. But you're looking for an identical red portal that is going to be pretty much right in front of you. Now, this does sound easy on paper, and depending on, what map you have, it can be a little bit easier than others, but sometimes these portals can be a little bit difficult to see if you're not paying attention. You're looking for a reddish yellow like glare on your map, and then you want to head towards that. Again, while generally it will be straight in front of you, it could diagonal left or right, but they are kind of hard to see, especially on the last one. They can be at varying degrees of height as well, so don't always expect them to be at eye level or anything. You do need to land 3 in a row, and if you happen to fail one or if you miss one and you hit the ground, the portal will no longer be spawned, the original one that you went through. So unless there's a way to respawn it, let me know in the comment section, but I found that if just warping to the next map will give you the original location again. But go ahead and find your third and final portal, and then once you travel through it, you can do this just by free falling into it or just, gliding in with a parachute. You go through your third one, and then you're going to get a beacon to spawn. You're going to get essentially a trail that you need to follow, and this is, not quite as faint as the portals itself. It should actually spawn directly in front of you, but then you just need to fall on that location where it is to pick up the item. And this is why I recommend stamina up. It's not a huge deal, but you won't die if you free fall here. This is the equivalent of doing the 3 radios and getting the beacon listening device from the first main Outbreak Easter egg, but pick up that beacon listening device and then you're good to go. You can do your main objective, and then, very similarly to what we got in the last one. After that, go over to your anomaly wherever it happens to be, whatever map you're on, and then go ahead and don't warp just yet. Make sure that you do respond to Ravenov's call. It is absolutely imperative that you do that, and you're going to hear the conversation between Weaver and Ravenov at the moment. It's going to explain exactly what's going on during this quest, and also it's really important to know at this point once you've called Ravenov, you are going to be directly warped to Sanatorium. So you want to make sure that you are fully prepared, as once you go to Sanatorium, you have to basically complete the quest. Like, you can't keep pushing rounds. So it's definitely advised that you're at least mostly good to go by the time you get to this step. Now, once you do arrive in Sanatorium, you're going to see, very similar to the other one, the next operation is going to come up, Operation Excision, and you need to find the crashed helicopter site where the scientist went down. And luckily, it's in one location always. It's in the Carved Hills, and you can see it marked by a billowing of smoke up in the skyline, and I'll show you exactly where that is. Now, as soon as you do arrive on site, before you even begin to interact with anything, it's going to be overran with zombies already, so you just need to clear them out before you can really take the next step. But you're going to have a fair amount of zombies at this crash site. Expect a couple of different boss enemies, panzers, megatons, things like that, but, you know, it should take you only about a minute or so to fully clear out this scenario. And what you're looking for at the crashed helicopter site is a radio that's hanging from the side, the left side of the helicopter. Go ahead and interact with that, and if you're first time around, then I recommend listening to the radio so you know exactly what's going on. You're going to hear about the scientist that sort of tried to walk away from Omega. At this point in the game, I also do recommend going to the crafting table and getting a couple of different kill streaks, whether you're solo or with a team, just to prepare you for a future upcoming step, as it's about to get pretty crazy. But just let the radio play out, and then as soon as that message is done, you should get a red orb somewhere spawned in the map. It looks very similar to the money orbs that you can shoot just in Outbreak in general, the ones that give you points that are more bluish. They're going to be generally located on rooftops, and I think there's only a few locations for these. I'll have a link in the description if you just cannot find it for whatever reason. But checking these back offices on the other side of the map is a location for that, and also on top of the bathhouse, and you don't need to go up there and chase it. Your job is to shoot this orb towards the bridge. Now, differently to the regular money orbs in Outbreak, these don't have a deterministic path where you just deal damage and they're going to follow a set route no matter what. These will actually be pushed in the general direction where you shoot them from. So if basically you're trying to repel this orb towards the bridge and sort of corner it into that location of the map. Thankfully, it's pretty easy. If there's a few tips that I would say to make it easier on yourself, number one, I would use monkey bombs and also decoy grenades, because zombies will spawn while you're attempting to do the step as well. If you're ultra efficient, you can get this step done in like 3 to 4 moves depending on where it spawns. If for whatever reason you're having trouble with this step, then I just recommend either checking the link in the description to find it and then just shooting it towards the bridge. And honestly, this step shouldn't give you much trouble at all. But once you get it to the bridge, shoot it off the statue on the far end and then bring it over to where this perimeter is. And you're going to see that there is an ether escort right here. But now you need to lure the orb into the cage itself, as it will not voluntarily go in there. So what you need to do is locate one of the 3 mystery box locations on Sanatorium. I'm going to put them up on screen right now. One of these locations in your game will have a shattered mystery box with a teddy bear. Usually it's going to not be the one where the mystery box already exists on your game, so if there's an icon there, then don't go to that location. But visit these spots on the map and you should see a mystery box that looks like this. So you're at the right spot when the mystery box doesn't have like those crates near it and it's just literally shattered as it is on screen, and then you'll go and pick up the bunny, interact with it, and it's going to float up into the air, summoning a wave of zombies on you. Pretty straightforward, however, it can be a little bit tricky, but you just need to defend it for a little while. I don't think it's time-based. You actually need to kill all of the zombies, so basically just kill the whole horde that it gives you, and then you'll know it's fully done when the bunny goes back to the mystery box, gives you tons of loot and also some intel, and then now your entire vision's going to change like you're holding the ether canister. It's like this weird bunny vision. It does maintain the effect where if you press your specialist button, it will explode like the ether canister does, clearing out enemies around you. To be honest, it's not totally useful for this because at this point in the game, you shouldn't have too many zombies trying to go after you after you've gotten the bunny, but you'll have it on your back as you can see on screen, and then you're just going to transport this over to the rover and put that bunny inside the rover. The anomaly or this red orb is going to go inside it as the bait suggests, and once it's in the orb, you can actually start transporting this thing after interacting with the radio that's going to immediately drop out. Now, this is literally your last call to set up before the final step, so if there's anything you need to do, get armor, kill streaks, you know, upgrade your weapon, whatever it is, I recommend do that before you interact with this radio, and then after you've done that, the Operation Excision will start. You're going to be locked into this ring. It's a very Togged or Totem-like step where you need to escort this thing within this safe ring, right? Very Battle Royale. A few tips I have for this is make sure that you have a specialist charge. I'm going to recommend Frenzied Guard or even Ether Shroud can work. It can get a little bit dicey in here after things like Megatons will spawn in on you because you really don't have a lot of room to run around in. You got to utilize the space you do have, but right now you're going to be in a totally different area of Sanatorium that is otherwise completely inaccessible. The rover can also take damage as well, so you need to make sure that you don't leave it alone for too long. The escort isn't that long as far as time goes. I believe it's about 2 minutes minutes to maybe 2.5. But in essence, your goal is to escort this safely to the monument, and you'll know you've done it correctly once it reaches the monument. The entire ether like cloud around you, all of the damage effect will go away. The ring will also disappear, letting you know that you can move on and move freely. All the zombies are going to disappear at this point as well, and you'll know you're in prime position where the rover is stopped, and then you can walk straight ahead and go up to the monument. Now, you're going to be going after this objective, and what you're going to find is the scientists that we are rescuing in this map, the ones that we were trying to, you know, exfil, and what the entire point of this operation was, you're going to walk up and find that they have been murdered by Big Kravchenko. Every single last one of them, and it's definitely Omega's fault, as is written on the wall. There's going to be some intel here, also some blueprints. There will be a radio on your left side that you need to interact with for the next step. It's going to, you know, explain the story, and then as soon as you've done that, it's going to play through for about a minute, and then the final step begins. While I don't think this boss fight is nearly as hard as the Legion fight in the first Outbreak Easter egg, it's still nothing to scoff at. It's going to begin, you have to start an exfil, and you're going to go down to like this big pad where there's just like a ton of open grass, and there's going to be a lot of zombies there. You know, it looks like a typical exfil. An Orda will spawn, and you need to kill literally everything here, and I mean everything. I wouldn't focus on the zombies too much right now at the beginning unless it's for charging your specialist. You need to kill Orda first and foremost because he will start spawning more and more zombies if you don't take care of him first. Orda has his typical melee attacks as he does. He can also heal, which you need to avoid. There is a blue and purple like puddle or a little like zone where if you get too far away from him, Orda will stick his hand in that puddle and start to regain HP. If this does happen, don't panic. Just shoot his hand for as long as possible to get him off the puddle. He's probably going to recover some HP, but nothing that you can't handle. After Orda's dead, however, you're also going to have to kill the rest of the zombies that are on the field. They will not die automatically, so you want to make sure that you don't give up or you don't basically let your guard down as soon as you've killed Orda. Now, at this point, if you are wanting to watch the Easter egg cutscene for yourself for the first time after you've completed it, then I'm going to recommend stop watching the video now because I'm going to show the cutscene, spoiler alert, in just a second. But if you made it to this point, congratulations, you beat the prologue or the second Outbreak Easter egg before Marge or Toten. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe if you're brand new. I hope this did help, so thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the cutscene, and it has a lot of implications for where we're going to go in the future. So anyways, enjoy the cutscene, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I gotta go. Peace out.
One for the books, team.
Okay, strike team. Time to come home.
Shit, we're going down!
Sadly, Weaver, them coming home is not part of the plan. Surrender now,
Kravchenko,
and you will be allowed to live.
you son of a fucking bitch.
Requiem belongs to me now.